1. Anthony Hawkins, what's good?
What's good, man?
How you living?
It's glad to be with you. Pretty good. I mean, everything's going well. All is well is coming together. Coming along. Coming up on my last semester of college. So
It's crazy, huh?
yeah, it's a big movement. It's a big change.
So you're going into your senior year right now, right?
Yeah.
That's wild. I remember, bro, when you came in as a freshman, and I feel like over the past 4 years, you've definitely matured a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Tom and the guys that I hung around, just sitting behind a lot of guys, learning a lot of things. Kind of set the role and set that tempo for me to, take on that lead and change from a backseat rider to a front seat driver. So.
I like that analogy.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about like even as a person, football wise, all of it, right? Because when you came in as a freshman, I remember you were like wild, like all out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, you couldn't miss me as far as partying. It was a go-to thing. But I mean, now it's just like a lot of things slowed down for me. As far as school and partying, it kind of gets old.
Yeah,
it's kind of a routine. But other than that, I mean, like I said, a lot of things slowed down, and it's like I see myself in a lot of the younger guys now.
Yeah, it's crazy, like looking back and like you said, seeing yourself in those other people. But what do you think helped shape you as far as like experiences that you went through throughout these like past 4 years from when you were in a freshman all the way to right now?
I mean, there's a couple things that shaped me. I feel like as far as my background with my religion and stuff, my faith, that's one thing that that kept me molded and kept me humbled and honed. And then another thing is just probably the people that I hung around. Like I said, the guys like Kevin Nutt, Justin Sweet, Sean Johnson, then other guys that was on the other side of the ball. Because you remember, I got a taste of every dude because I played offense, and then like we both did that. We played offense, then we went to defense. So, I mean, I think it was just those older guys, Mike and Dietrich, BC, but whoever I sat behind, I think I learned a lot of things from them. Just seeing small mistakes that they may have made and things that they did good, just kind of took it and, put it in my own perspective and ran with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think, too, that we were pretty blessed being under Coach Whitted, too.
Facts.
Like, he was a mentor, a leader, and he really knew how to motivate us without yelling at us.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Whitted, hey, he's a GOAT, man. I mean, that's why he is where he is now. But not only him, Coach Terry Fair, I mean, first-round draft pick, Detroit Lions. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better coach, moving positions, teaching me, the basics of everything. I mean, I know he helped me out a lot with a lot of transitions because, I transitioned over to defense, and he was there to give me the basics. And then the next thing I know, I'm with Coach Lewis, the new DB coach that came in.
Oh, he's a new DB coach.
And then Then we have a final coach. Coach Lewis actually ended up at Boston College, but
oh shit.
Now we have Coach Perkins. He came down from Tampa Bay. From the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and everything. So
that's cool.
I feel like I've had a lot of teachers, that molded me into something and molded me into, perfecting my craft and everything. And so, I mean, now it's just to, showcase it, and now it's just time to put on because it's the last go around.
Yeah, I feel like after everything you just said right now, too, it's that in itself has helped you mature a lot, too, because that's a lot of coaches. That's a lot of transitioning you got to go through. And just by nature, that means that you have to overcome and adapt and learn how to overcome adversity, right? Because, I mean, most athletes, when they go to college, they only have like one coach at their position, and you've had to experience like 4 or 5 different coaches. But at the same time, they all have different ways of motivating their players, and they also have different ways of teaching you and giving you inspiration. So it's like also blessing that you got to get all those different types of inspirations from 4 or 5 different coaches, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to get the experiences from 4 or 5 different coaches. It is hard to adapt to the new, I guess, the way that they the way they do things and the formatting and stuff. But I think I'm also thankful for the basics because there's one thing you can't get away from is the basics. Each coach have their own way of teaching, but they're all teaching the same thing. So the basics is just something that's honed in. It's something that's never going to change. And I think that's what helped, get us all through it, because, I mean, it wasn't only me. I know it's a couple other guys that came in with me that, experienced a lot of coach changing. And like the receivers, now they have Coach Cox coaching them, and then tight ends they have a new coach named Coach Jones. So, wow. I mean, it's just a lot of changes that's going around, but, I mean, it just, you got to take it and run with it. I mean, you got to get them on board also, because it's not only them, it's not only them trying to get you on board, but you have to get them on board, with the culture that you have around here at CSU.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a good teacher for life too, because, at some point in your life, football is going to be over. And everyone always says that football is like a great teacher to life, and it prepares you for real life situations, right? When you get a full-time job, that's a lot of what's happening. New bosses are coming in, new employees are coming in left and right, and you got to learn to adapt and get along with the different ones, and at the end of the day, get the job done, right? So I think that is really good teacher for life in itself, and not many people get to have that experience like you've had, as far as playing two positions, and not only playing two positions, like getting really good experience playing those two positions at a really high level, where you've gotten like really good you started a lot of games playing both positions, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a blessing in disguise. Just kind of how things worked out my freshman year. I know, playing receiver, and then having like a small package of playing running back some too. Got to start that UTSA game and played a little bit in that Fresno game.
That was like your first, real.
I think that was my first. My first start was the UTSA game, and then Fresno game I caught my first touchdown.
Right.
So I mean, that was something to look back at. And then sophomore year, I'm starting, and we're playing in a new stadium. You know what I'm saying, playing against Oregon State.
And you got a pick in the first game too.
Yeah, pick in the first game, and then we fumble it. But
I'm gonna have to play that clip when we show this that just happened. But the fumble went out of bounds, so like.
Right, that was like one of the top 10. Come on, man. But I mean, you know what I'm saying, it's something that you'll never forget. Like it's experiences that won't ever leave me. You know what I'm saying, those are like capstones for me. Coming into that sophomore year, like I said, being my first season playing cornerback, but happening to lead the team in picks and stuff, that was big for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, now it's just like, what can I do better? Just kind of working on myself, working on my craft, and then also at the same time, it's just pulling those guys up with me. Just being one of the oldest in the room now, it's kind of it's kind of different. I'm seeing things from a different perspective, because I'm not only having to worry about myself, but I'm having to worry about the guys that are looking up to me too.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different dynamic. What position do you like better, would you say?
I like scoring touchdowns, but I feel like it's a bigger momentum change when you make a defensive play. I mean, like my roots are in, on the offensive side, but now I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable at either position. But I would probably have to say like cornerback. Cornerback is harder, and I like the challenge.
But did you play cornerback in high school?
So I didn't play at all.
You never played corner until you got to D1. That's insane.
No, I've never played cornerback or defense until I got to college. I mean, there was a few like packages we would put in, like if we were blowing somebody out, and we would play like a prevent defense where you have like 3 deep or something like that. But other than that, I've never played defense. Like I think my last experiences of defense before college was like Little League, Pop Warner.
That's insane.
So, but I think nickel position is probably my favorite right now. Just
I like
because,
nickel too, yeah.
Yeah, because you're in the fit also, and then at the same time you're a major cover person. So you're normally covering like slot receivers. They're faster guys. But I mean, there's a lot of pressure at both positions, cornerback and nickel.
There's a lot of action at nickel too.
Yeah. For sure. Taking on sometimes you're taking on tight end blocks, fullback blocks.
Yeah.
You're in the fit a lot, so. I mean, there's a lot of action and there's a lot of money to be made there.
Yeah, definitely. Playing corner, though, like you said, it's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. It's the only position, I think, on the field where your mistakes are touchdowns. If a linebacker makes a mistake, it might be a missed tackle, but there's a safety to back them up, right?
Right.
Sometimes the safety is going to be over the top, but at the end of the day, your mistakes are touchdowns, and for that reason, they're amplified. So it could be a blown coverage, right? And the crowd is going to see that somebody scored a touchdown, it must be the corner's fault.
Right. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's not even your fault, but that's just kind of how it comes out. Like saying if you're in a cover 3, receiver runs like a crosser route across the middle, I mean, you know, the safety's supposed to be there. You're supposed to replace in the post, but I mean, it looks like the corner's, you know, it looks like the corner's fault. So, I mean, you know, it can make or break you with the mistakes you make there at that position. But I mean, that's a money maker. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do to handle the pressure like that? Like, what kind of mindset do you take in? Like, because obviously you got to have a really short memory at corner. So, what are some things that you do to help cope with the pressure that comes with, honestly, everything?
One thing is, I mean, like, that was taught, like, to me quickly, like you said, like, short-term memory. I mean, I remember Coach Fair was just telling us, you know, one play at a time. You got to come back to the line, take a deep breath. All right, now that play's erased. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, alignment, assignment, technique. That's the first thing they always say, alignment, assignment, technique. You know what I'm saying? So once you clear your mind, you're going back to the basics. All right, what's my alignment? What's my assignment? What's the technique? You know, once you get the play in and whatever. And I think that's a major thing that, like, a lot of guys forget. They forget to, you know, focus back in. And I think once you focus back in, once you lock in, I mean, I think it's like, you know, it's something that's just like clockwork.
Yeah.
It's something that happens over and over and over again. And then that's when you can be consistent.
Yeah, and that's one of the parts of being successful in anything in life. You got to learn how to fail and being okay with failing and just getting back at it the next play, because in anything in life, you're going to fail.
Right.
And yeah, you getting that practice right now is going to be super important for you, especially down the road. You're going to know how to handle situations like where you're not going to be able to succeed in every single one, but just keep pushing and moving forward and not quitting is going to go a long way.
For sure. I mean, yeah, like I said, Coach Fair taught us a lot. I think just with the mental stage of it, just, you know, knowing how to take those steps back, and then, like, you know, bouncing back at the next play, and just being able to be consistent throughout the whole game, being able to, you know, keep that mindset throughout the whole game, because football is not only, you know, I'm saying, a physical sport, it's also mental. Yeah. So half of the war is already won when, you know I'm saying, that mental stage is in action, because like I said, intimidation could get the best of us. It can make cowards of us all. So I think, like I said, the mental part of it is just, you know, making sure that you just reset your brain to the basics, and reset your brain to the fundamentals of alignment, assignment, technique, and then let's just go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go and play. So half of it is just having fun too. I mean, you know, overthinking stuff, it'll also put a toll on you. So you could tell when a guy's thinking too much and he's kind of fidgety, doing too much. You know, he's so nervous, anxiety.
Yeah, you can see it in their body language.
Right. And so I think like I said, half of it is just like playing backyard football and just, you know what I'm saying, having fun with it.
Confident, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. What are some of the things that you do, like, even outside of football? Because being a student athlete in general has a lot of pressure that comes with it, right? You got a lot of pressure to get good grades. You got a lot of pressure to play well. And another thing too, being an out-of-state player, I'm sure, as far as for me at least, like, I was worried a lot about what was going home with my family life, right? And you miss your family and everything. So there's a lot that comes into play. What do you do, like, in general, just when you're feeling stressed? What do you do to, like, get away from it all?
I mean, one of the major things I was saying is my faith, you know. Church, I think church, and, you know, with the help of Pastor Square, it keeps me molded a lot, and like, it lets me hone into the reason of why I'm doing it. I think a lot of the things is like, you have to remember that why. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a why of what they're doing for. If you don't have a why, there's really no reason of you should be doing it. So, but like I said, church is probably my major coping mechanism. Yeah. But it just helps me get through. You know what I'm saying? And it lets me and allows me to remember that, you know what I'm saying, my stress can't be bigger than, you know, a lot of other people's out there. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to do, you know what I'm saying, what college players has to do, and just to showcase it like they want to. But I mean, a lot of people would wish and dream and hope, you know what I'm saying, for the position that we're in. So just have to remember that and just kind of take it as a grain of salt and keep it moving.
That's good that you remember that, or that you take that and you don't take it for granted as far as, like, being in the position you're in right now, because, like you said, you're in the top 1% right now, and it's, like, easy to forget that when you're in the day-to-day grind, like, doing all this, and sometimes you're just like, why am I even waking up at 5 a.m? Why am I, like, doing this? Yeah, it's a real life gut check. It makes you, like, really figure out if you love football or not. And yeah, man, just, like, staying true to it. And I mean, do you do anything, like, as far as like hobby wise to get away from everything?
I mean, other than like football, I think I've spreading on that. I'm into music, DJing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Big shout out to I think a couple of the guys that I sat behind is DJ That Nigerian. He's a local Dallas DJ, and then DJ D Fade came along, and one of the big ones that I sat behind, he doesn't know it, but is DJ Nightcrawler. He's actually one of my best friend's older brother, and he watching his videos taught me a lot of what I do now. But he's probably one of the best that I know right now that's out there. So big shout out to him. But I DJ and stuff like that. Getting involved with a couple of guys that's local right now. One of my teammates he's actually an artist. His name is Ajon Vivens. He goes by A-Stacks.
I saw that A-Stacks, right? I've been seeing you guys working together and putting out music.
I think our biggest event was we opened up for Ashanti.
That's sick.
So that that was big for us. And then just DJing local things like that. I don't really do like house parties or anything, but I'm saying like local events as far as venues, as far as like venues and programs and stuff like that, I can do that. But I do those sometimes in my free time. And then another thing is just the clothing line. I mean, being the co-founder of Eden Apparel, which my founder is Daniel Wele, back in Dallas, Texas. That started like my sophomore year.
Shouts out to him.
Big shout out to him. Just coming with that mindset of what should we do, and what is something that we can put our mind to. Just sophomore year was just something that's just to make money. We were trying to have an event, so we needed to make money, and next thing we know, it turned into something. It kind of just took off by itself. I think it was just the networking part. A lot of my friends, we all go to different schools in different states now, so we're all at different colleges and different universities, and I think that's one of the parts that helps us out. I mean, I have friends at Texas Tech and have friends at Texas State, and then my friend Daniel Wela, he went to Howard University in DC.
Oh shit.
And so and then I have some friends at Central Arkansas, so it's just like networking all over. I'm here in Colorado, so we're just trying to spread it wherever we're at, and then when we get together, I'm thinking I think that's where our basics are. Our basis is stationed in Dallas, Texas, but I mean we're spread it all over the place, and we're just trying to put it out there. And Eden Apparel, but I know you hear Eden, and you're like wondering like what does it mean?
Yeah.
But
what is Eden?
Eden Apparel is basically shifting your perspective. Live positive, not perfect.
What does that come from? Like what are the roots from that?
So we started with Eden. We were like, we started off with Garden of Eden, and they were like, well, Garden of Eden
so
is too long.
It was going to be called Garden of Eden.
It was going to be called Garden of Eden. And it started off that was too long, and then. One of my friends, it's a funny story. We never listened to him because we always every time he said something, he normally says something dumb, and then we never listened to him.
It's like when you're in a group chat, somebody texts something, nobody replies.
Right, you have that one friend that normally says dumb stuff, and then sure enough, he comes out, he was like Eden, and we was like what? And then he was like, all right, that might work. So next thing we know, we're calling it Eden, and Eden comes from the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. They weren't made perfect, but they were made to live positive. So we kind of based our meaning off of that, of live positive, not perfect. It's not who it's not who you are, but it's what you're doing while you have the time here. So and we're just trying to be a positive movement. We're all about good vibes and stuff like that. So that's basically what Eden Apparel means. Is live positive, not perfect. Shift your perspective. Yeah,
I love it. That's like a lot of what I started here with this podcast and my whole platform that I'm doing with Ambiance. And I've told you about it before too. Like the whole meaning of ambiance, like is the feeling, the atmosphere of a place, right? Like the vibe of a place. And that's why like I have the positive symbol in it too, because it's all about like positive energy and positive vibes. I like having guests on that portray that in their lives, which is why I'm happy to have you on. And I think that's awesome that you're doing that with Eden Apparel. When did you guys start?
Yeah, so like I was saying, we started in my high school year. I think it was like 2014. I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh, it's been going since high school.
It's been going since high school.
How come we barely seen it now?
I mean, like it wasn't something that we were doing that was like too big that I was focusing on around my freshman sophomore year. Then come junior year, I had a lot more time to put attention to it during the off season, during the spring. And like here now, like we have a lot of events coming up. Like we have the Eden Summer Jam coming up where they're going to have Cincy Molly performing. And so that's just like an annual event that we've had. Like this is the second time that they've had it and stuff like that. Normally, I mean, I'm a part of it and everything. And I put forth effort toward it. Sometimes I can't attend because of fall camp. stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, that is something that is going on. If I can make it, I definitely will be there. But that's something that's local in Texas, and hopefully, the event turns out to be how we wanted to. Because the first event, it was a big turnout. I mean, what I'm saying, a lot of money was made. Great performance by Young Nation. And then next thing you know, like if this is something that can continuously happen in Texas, why not move it to another state? We have guys all over the place. I'm here in Colorado, like I said. I have friends in Arkansas, and also I have Daniel, the founder of Eden Apparel. He's from DC. He came from DC at Howard. So I mean, we're trying to make it local right now, and then once it's local, that's when we can start moving around around this part of the country.
Yeah, really spreading out that exposure, right?
Right.
Get as much people as possible.
I think that's the main focus right now is just what I'm saying, building our crowd, building on numbers and stuff like that. And so I mean, we're gonna keep pushing. I know I have a lot of the football team in my back pocket and in my corner on that.
That's important.
So yeah,
support.
Right, because I mean it's networking, and like a lot of my teammates, we know half of the population at CSU, so it's like big. That's a start for you, and then if you can get them on board, that's when you can get a lot of other people on board.
Yeah, that's definitely big. You being in the position too that you're in, you also have to realize how much reach and how much influence you have over other people, right?
Right.
So I mean, if you're gonna have the platform that you have right now, you might as well use it. So talk about that. Like, talk about the importance of just being a student athlete, what it brings, and the importance of like getting involved in different like initiatives outside of sports, right? Because a lot of players out there are really one track minded for different reasons. Some of them think that they can't do things out of football because they don't have enough time, or they just want to focus solely on football. But you can prosper in football and still have like other hobbies and other interests to act on, because once football's over, not everybody goes pro. Like 90% of people aren't going to be playing pro ball after college. So I mean, I think it's important for them to understand that there's some things you need to do to set yourself up for success after ball's over, right?
Right. I mean, being in, I think being involved with your community is a big thing for me. We do a lot of stuff like respite care. I remember some of our community service things. We do stuff like that. I think being involved with your community is just allowing them to remind them like we're on the same level. I'm not thinking that I'm above you just because of my position that I'm playing in, being a Division I college player. That's one. And then, I mean, like I said, the DJing thing, I think that allows me to socialize a lot. What I'm saying? A lot of people.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But what is it like that interested you in DJing at first? Like, how old are you?
I'm 21.
No, like how old were you when you started?
Oh man,
like when you started getting interested in like, yo, I want to actually see if I can try this.
I think it started when I was 17, maybe. I think I was around 17 when I started sitting behind like my friend. His name was Jesse. Jesse Buzzway. He goes by DJ that Nigerian.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, I want to DJ. And like we all had these softwares. We all downloaded it. We thought it was cool. We had this software named Virtual DJ.
Okay.
Virtual DJ was the first thing that we started with. We didn't have a controller or anything. And we started with that. And then, next thing you know, he was the first guy to go put money into it and buy a controller. And then he started that, and transitions, were crappy, and we nobody was good and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, like he started figuring out, oh, okay, I matched the beats PM, and then we would transition like that on the downbeat. And then next thing you know, he gets a DJ call out, and now he's DJ that Nigerian. He has a name now, and then I was like, okay, all right, this is pretty cool. And then next thing you know, I'm seeing him traveling all around the state of Texas, and he's DJing for college parties, he's DJing for events like this, probates and stuff like that. And I'm like, he was like, it's an easy money maker. And and he was like, and you get to have fun, doing what you like to do. And I seen interest in that. I seen interest in, making quick money and also having fun while doing that. Yeah. And so I took it into my own hands. And when I got here at Colorado State, I knew that they didn't have a campus DJ. So I was like, why not? Why can't I be that person?
Yeah.
So
just going out to different places, like before, like, because we got here at similar times. Like you got here, I got like a semester before you probably, because I came from junior college.
Right.
Even though you were like a younger class than me, and like I remember when I first got here too, you probably realized like you go out to places like parties or like bars or whatever, and like the music was like ass, like horrible. And you're like, where you come from, right? Dallas. really cultured with music, like
Right.
really in tune with music, and same with LA.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
facts.
So coming here, just like, yo, like there's nothing out here like
That's
for
what
us.
I was saying, and I was thinking it needed like a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's a big thing because I feel like we're behind on a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, EDM is a great genre of music and everything, which I wasn't in touch with it until I got here. But now, like, I actually took that also into like my arsenal of,
Really?
what I'm saying, of playlists, because like I feel like, being versatile and being able to touch each crowd is also a thing of DJing. Song selection is a big part of DJing, not just the transition.
And that's just like football, bro. Like,
Right.
that's just like you play defense and offense. It's like adding that to your arsenal. Like you said, adding different genres, you're going to be more usable to different people wanting to book you.
Right. And so, yeah, so like I just try to be versatile a lot when I'm like with the crowds out here, because you have your people that like hip hop, like rap, and then you have people that like modern pop music, and then you have your people that like the EDM and the house music and so on. And so I just try to be versatile with that. I try to make sure that everybody's satisfied, and I try to make sure that there's good transitions while doing it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like I said, DJ That Nigerian was probably the first person that put me on. DJ D Fade sat behind him also. He's a great DJ. But I mean, I can't lie. The best of them all that I know right now is probably DJ Nightcrawler.
DJ Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it's actually Daniel Waylay's older brother.
Oh shit. Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's really important too. Like you said, knowing your audience, because that's the biggest thing. Like I could play sets in LA, like that would be like lit. Everybody would love them. If you play those out here, like what the fuck? Like like white girls, what are they playing?
I'm already knowing.
They were looking to play like Calvin Harris or whatever, and that's fine. Like, but it's just like you said, you have to know how to control a crowd out here.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of similar too to football, right? Like there's a crowd involved in what you're doing, and you make a big play, you get the satisfaction of the crowd cheering you on. It's the same thing for DJing, right?
Yeah.
Do you see similarities between the two? Like,
I mean, I definitely can see similarities between the two. Cause like definitely at the position that you're at, like I was talking about, like cornerback. When you make, when you do something good, that's everybody loves you, but as soon as something goes wrong,
you're the first person.
Yeah, you're the first person. It's kind of like the quarterback of the defense almost. You're not really the middle linebacker, because the linebacker is normally the quarterback of the defense, but
making calls.
You're the one that is at biggest risk.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the same thing. It's like you're the quarterback of the party. I'm saying, when everything's going well, you're the life of the party, but as soon as there's one bad transition, as soon as there's something goes wrong and a play, a song that doesn't play or something like that, it doesn't queue up.
Yep.
Then I'm saying, everybody's looking like, fire the DJ. So I mean, that could be a big part of it. I'm saying, that's the similarities that I see in it. But other than that, I mean, like I'm saying, it's a ball of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it too. Sometimes I've had times where I was like DJing live and my computer decides to update like out of nowhere, and it won't even be your fault. Right. And then everyone's like,
well, yeah, I didn't know that like your controller could overheat and stuff like that, and it would start. You get the red dot in the right corner and stuff like that, and it starts staticking. So I had to learn,
along the way,
stay in kind of like the shade or something like that, or get a tent. So like when I'm DJing like outdoor parties or something like that, because I remember that happened to me. Like I DJ'd the Stadium Apartments. Remember you put me on with that?
Yeah.
And so I DJ'd that party, and my stuff kept staticking, and I was like wondering. And so then sooner or later I found out that like, oh, I have to keep it in the shade. It's because the sun is just beaming straight on me. I didn't have a tent. And so I figured that out real quick. So that was all.
Yeah. Would you say like, have you ever had a crazy embarrassing story DJing or something like that?
Let me see. Most embarrassing story of DJing. Probably had to be, there was this concert that I did with the local guy, A-Stacks, Ajon. He plays football with me. And we were at Metro University. We're at Metro and down in Denver. Right. And we had this song coming up. It was called Gali, and like I had the filter on, and it was faded out. Oh. And so the song got ready. The beat was building up, but like in the filter, if you fade it out, you can hear the bass, but you can't hear the lyrics. Yeah. And so like the song was building up, and it was building up, and it was building up, and then the beat dropped. And there was no lyrics. And then he jumped like 10 feet in the air, and like he jumped and like he looked at me, and he was like automatically knew that there was no lyrics, and everybody was like looking at us. And then I flipped the filter off real quick, and then like the words came on like late, And then it was like oh shit moment, like everybody was looking at me, and I was just like, oh man, like that was supposed to happen. and so I mean, that was probably like one of the biggest embarrassments I had. But like most of my embarrassments happened between me and the artist. Like we'll know, but like nobody else will know. But that was probably like the one that everybody knew. So yeah, I mean, that's probably like one of the biggest ones. Or like I probably singing and trying to hit a note that didn't come out.
That's not too bad.
Like I sound like it just didn't come out, like just straight air and nothing. So
there could be a lot of worse things that could happen. I mean, you got a long life ahead of you, so we'll see what else happens.
I mean, yeah, everything's not always gonna be great. So
yeah,
you just got to take it and run with it.
When I was spinning one time, like I was like a little buzzed too, and I was like, I had a jacket on, and like like the fader, I had the fader on, and my jacket, like every time like I would play something, my jacket flap would hit my fader and would cut the music, and like I was like, what the hell is going on? And like the music's silent, everybody's looking at me, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's a fader. And I did it like 3 more times. I kept on doing it. I was just like, what the fuck? And then it kept on happening, and I was just like, damn. That was probably my most embarrassing time. So I was just like, don't ever do DJ when you're like under the influence or anything.
I can understand that for sure. Because for one, like, I mean, you have to always keep in mind, like, keeping your equipment protected, because that's a big thing for me. I mean, I know I've had drinks, like, spilled on one of my controllers before. I mean, the person paid for it and everything, but, you know what I'm saying? Those are things that you have to, like, be mindful of, like, because people like to, I don't know why, people like to, when you're DJing at an event, like your friends and your homies and stuff, they like to sit around the DJ a lot. Yeah. But with that comes, they're sitting there drinks by the DJ booth. It's like, all right, you got to remind them, hey, you can't, I need you to hold that. I need you to keep that over there. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And, one time, it's just like I said, under the influence, sitting with one of my teammates. And, it was my laptop and my controller just all taken out. And so party was over.
Wait, they took your laptop?
Nah, like by the drink.
They spilled on it?
They spilled the drink on the laptop and the controller, and so the party was over. But I mean, like I said, they took care of everything, so
that's dope.
It was just, I'm saying, it was like a learning experience, and from then on, I don't think I've had any other incidents like that.
You just be more careful moving forward, right?
For sure.
But you sing too, right?
Yeah, we talked about this. I sing a little bit.
Yeah. What did you when did you get into singing? Like, were you in a choir or something?
Yeah, that was something that I guess came along with a very young age. Being a Baptist kid out in the South, I feel like that singing was a big thing for youth department that I was in back in Texas. Like I said, my brother and my sister, they both sing, and all my uncles on my dad's side, they're singing. I feel like all of my family members, as far as my uncles on my mom's side, can hold a tune and stuff. So I feel like it wasn't, something that I wasn't familiar with at a young age. But being in the youth department kind of molded me into, I guess, the singer I am now. If you like, all the rips and runs are all church runs. Everything I do, from the sound, from runs, from whatever I'm doing, for tricks I'm doing, it's all church. You can hear it when I sing. But like I said, it was just something that I guess I caught on to. It was just, I guess, a blessing that I was gifted with.
Seems like you're pretty natural with it, right? Like, have you had any like lessons?
I've never had any lessons as far as singing.
That's wild.
I mean, that's why I said it's surprising to me. But and people say I sound good, so I guess it's a big surprise to me that I've never had lessons. And people, I guess, tell me I'm pretty good. So, but other than that, I mean, like I said, it was just something that I was just blessed with when I was born with, I guess. Just like I said, my brother and my sister, we all try to sing a little bit. And we try to, we listen to other people, and it's like, oh, you're here, Ronnie. You be like, oh, let me try that. And then that's kind of how, you build your arsenal on like your singing style. Yeah,
definitely. You're dope, bro. Like, your shit is dope. We're gonna play some shit later for you.
Appreciate it.
Had you ever get like nervous singing? You like, do you have like similar nerves?
That's the one
like
thing
playing football.
That's the one thing I don't get nervous about for some reason. Singing, I don't know. It's just like something you don't really get nervous about. I feel like I don't get nervous about, just because I mean I feel like I'm in my comfort zone when I'm singing. Like I'm not really like, I usually don't, sing to a person. I just kind of sing to myself. And like a lot of times when I sing, I close my eyes. And it's just my comfort zone. I think the only other time I sung like to a person was like my proposal to like my girlfriend. And so, but I mean like other than that, like that was in high school. So like, you know what I'm saying, I haven't really sung to anybody, like sung to a person in a while. So like you really don't get nervous about it because it's like I'm not singing to the crowd.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm singing for me and I'm singing for myself. And so I feel like I'm in my comfort zone, and it just comes out and people enjoy it. So that's what I do.
So you just close your eyes and like kind of like blank out everything else?
Normally I close my eyes and just kind of blank out, and then just, you know what I'm saying, go from there and just kind of let the words carry me through the song.
Right. What do you usually like what do you like to sing on, like R&B? What kind of music genre?
I mean, R&B, gospel. But yeah, smooth R&B is probably my biggest right now.
For real?
Yeah, big Tank fan. Tank is he's a monster. Vocalist wise, he's a monster. But R&B is probably my biggest. John Legend, Music Soul Child, all those guys.
Yeah, Music Soul Child.
All those guys are just, you know what I'm saying, you try to mimic stuff they do, and then you're like, how did he do this? How did he do this?
Yep.
Like, you're wondering. And I mean, I've had the opportunity to hear a couple of people live, like Erykah Badu. She's a monster live. I've heard her
live too.
And so Jill Scott she's also a great performer. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, being your own person also at the same time is not trying to sound like somebody is what make you distinctive. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, what are some of the other artists that you're feeling right now, as far as this like hip hop or anything else? Like what are you feeling right now?
As far as the rap game right now, I mean, I know my friend from LA, June. We call him June, but he put me on Roddy Ricch, and Roddy Ricch has been probably like my playlist the whole summer on repeat. Yeah, for sure. He came out with a new song with DJ Mustard Ball.
Is it on DJ Mustard's new
DJ
project?
Mustard's new album. It's called Ballin'. That's probably like one of the biggest songs for me right now. But also, like, I remember when Roddy Ricch came out with like the old, I think it was, what was it? Feed the Streets, the first one.
Yeah.
He came out with Fuck It Up, and I heard that song. Then I heard Die Young, and then I heard Rich Forever. And so like all those songs, I mean, by Roddy Ricch is just kind of crazy that he's that young and that he's able to like put out a sound like that.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. Like, just I think that's one of the cool things about like playing ball too, is everybody's like, most of the team is from out of state, from different places, so you get to hear their type of music taste, and you get to see what they're listening to on their coast before like anybody else is really on it.
Right, but I mean, like, as far as music though, like hip hop and rap, like I can't ever get away from my roots. Like my top 5, all like hands down. Like people say Biggie Pac. No, my first has got to be Nas. Like
Nas, the lyricist.
Like The World Is Yours, man. Hey,
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying. Nas is probably my number one. Then it's Pac and Biggie, and then I got to put Andre 3 Stacks in there somewhere because, I mean, Outkast did their thing on that.
I feel like you got a really similar like music inclination to yourself, like as far as like Outkast. Like you could probably hold a note like them.
Yeah, I mean,
Andre.
Outkast is Andre 3 Stacks. 3 Stacks. He's a monster. And Big Boy himself, I remember he came out with Shutterbug. That was on one of the NBA 2K games. But like I said, like that, I think those are like one of my top 5s. Then you have like Wayne and you got Hova. Like you can't forget about them. Like those are legends. And then like after that generation, you have, you know, Kanye coming in. You have J. Cole, and you have Kendrick.
And now ATL is like everybody from the ATL is like on top of the game right now.
Yeah,
like
ATL is. I mean, people. We've had arguments too. I've had arguments with a couple people about who's the best in ATL.
You arguing with dudes that are from Georgia though? That's
but
like
I mean, like in our generation right now, I'm thinking like the best out of ATL. In my generation, it's probably either Future or Young Thug. But people trying to argue that it's Baby and Gunner, but it's not Baby and Gunner. Like you can't forget.
They haven't been in the game long enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like you know, I'm saying they don't have what that they have. Like I guess if you give them some years, obviously they have that ambition to pass them up. But as of right now, like you can't beat, you know what I'm saying, the Dirty Sprite album. You can't beat Future on that, or Young Thug, Thief in the Night. Like he has there's so many hits by those artists that you can't forget about that. You know what I'm saying. that makes them pillars and makes them legends of that that area.
Yeah, and they're
So,
pioneers too. Like they're like, especially Young Thug. He's not afraid to throw a dress on. Like he don't give a fuck. Like he'll do anything. Like he tries different type of sounds with himself too. And he could get away with it. Who else could get away with shit like that?
Man, I mean, Lil Key tried to do some stuff like that too. It's I don't know. I mean, ATL always had their own way of fashion too.
Yeah.
Like they were one of the first to come out with like the fanny packs and the satchels and stuff like that. But yeah, ATL always had their own mindset as far as fashion too.
Yeah, definitely. My bad, I'm texting Zach back right now. What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to get into like the position where you're at right now? Like either whether it's music wise, somebody who's just like interested in doing it and like is thinking how do I actually act on something like this, and also to like a young athlete out there who's like looking to get to your level as well.
I mean, the athletic side, because I'm not even, where I want to be yet. But
Yeah.
As far as getting this far, the athletic side is just, you got to remember the little things. I mean, like, in high school, man, enjoy it because it's too fun. And then when you get here, it's strictly business, It's, eat, sleep, football, schoolwork. Eat, sleep, football, schoolwork. But I'm saying, it's clockwork. So you just have to remember the little things. And to remember to enjoy your time while you have it, because once you move to that next level, it's strictly business. So I'm just saying, remember to enjoy the time that you have within high school, within Little League football. Enjoy the time that you have with your parents and stuff like that, because you got to leave them behind. To because if you're not here, how's your family gonna eat?
Exactly.
Stuff like that. And then with the music thing, it's just like I said, it's really who you know and not what you know. It's basically networking, because I feel like one of the biggest like influences and the biggest like helps to my music experience is either Von Beats and his dad Symbolic One. They were a big help to me, like just kind of sitting behind him. Von Beats is actually like one of the best producers I know. He actually produced that Lecrae album, that Coming to America album.
Oh, really?
That's him. And then you have his dad, Symbolic One, who produced Power for Kanye. So
oh shit.
So I mean, like there's a guy that I went to high school with, and just kind of like I said, networking is not what you know, who you know, and
exactly
kind of got me also in the music game. And I used to try to record music and stuff like that with him, and he put me on a little bit and like taught me a little things like with the software Ableton and stuff like that. And so that's one. And then like when I got here local in Colorado and Denver area, I mean, like A-Stacks and his dad, they did a lot for me, and that's who got me the Ashanti gig, opening up with A-Stacks. And I mean, like I said, we started at Metro University, then we went to Cervantes, and then next thing you know, we had Juneteenth.
Oh, you went to Cervantes in Denver?
Yeah,
that's dope. I watched a few shows there. People.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, we had the Juneteenth festival opening for Ashanti. So that was probably the biggest gigs that I've had so far. But I mean, like I'm saying, like this is just the networking, I think, mainly. So the advice I would give for the music part of it.
Yeah, and look at how much you're doing with like the limited time you have right now, right?
Right.
Like obviously, do you have aspirations to play in the NFL and the league and everything?
I mean, yeah, it's a dream for everybody. I mean, I'm definitely gonna, give it a shot, and I'm gonna put forth the effort, that I have to try to get there. But like I'm saying, like there's also reality that hits you. I know that if it is a 9-to-5, if it is a job, I want to be in the best position that I can be when it comes to that job. I want to definitely use my education. I don't want to be a guy to get an education and then never use it.
Let it go to waste.
Right. So I would definitely want to use that. But I mean, if the lead doesn't work out, I plan on coming to get my master's. That's my plan.
And what?
I'm planning on getting my master's in journalism and media communication.
Okay, so that applies to like your interests too.
Right.
That's dope.
So I plan on going ahead and finishing that up, getting my master's in journalism, taking that year program, and then after that, just take it and run with it, get some internships. But majorly, like I remember one thing that was told to me on one of the internships I had is don't ask for an internship, ask for a job. It was like, why not ask for a job when you're asking for an internship? It was like a job is just an internship is just nothing but a job without pay. So why not just ask for the job?
It's true.
So I mean, just applying and just putting my name out there and just trying to you know what I'm saying, trying to get some type of recognition behind my name.
Yeah, I mean, you're killing it right now. So just imagine, I mean, God willing that you make it to the league and that works out for you, because I think you definitely can do that. You have a lot of talent in that area. But even if it doesn't work out, like imagine all the time you have right now playing football and putting that towards like music or putting it towards your clothing brand. Think about like how big you could get in both of those areas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have all your passion, a lot of your time, most of your time is going to ball, which is where it should be. I mean, that's what you're here to do. But if that does end, you're still going to be good, bro, because you have like so much other talents. A lot of other people, like, I mean, you see a lot of people like that graduated from like our team, right? And like they're just working the job, whatever, and that's fine too. But the fact that you have these other interests to act on is really going to help you out like later in life, because you're going to be able to have that side hustle at all times, even if you have a full-time job, and put all of that time that you're putting into football, you put that into your music and your clothing brand. Like, I'm confident that's going to blow up for you too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and then I feel like you can't have any limits for yourself. That's another thing that was told to me by, one of my friends, actually, Daniel. He was just telling, you can't have limits for yourself. You can't say, oh, this is big as we're going to make it, and, maybe this is where we're supposed to be. You just got to keep pushing with that ambition and working toward it. Because, like, we didn't think Eden was going to be as big as it is now for us. Like, we thought it was just something that was going to be local. Obviously, like in the DFW area out in Texas. Yeah. But, next thing I know, like, it's like, all right, we're in college now. Like, and we thought it was going to die out, me being here and, I'm saying, having friends over in DC and having friends in Arkansas. I'm like, all right, we're all scattered out. How are we going to do this? Yeah. And then next thing you know, we have a group message that we just do all our business through, and we're like, we keep communication. It's like, all right, we have this deadline to make this money, and we have, we have new product coming out, and then I got this model here. Hey, I can take this. Like, it's like different things we did. Like, so, like, there's different scenery. There's different scenery all around the U.S. So
using all your talents, right?
Right, and then like also just using the landscape. Like here in Colorado, we got mountains like no other. Mm-hmm. And so like I remember I shot a video there. For the East hoodies, the Eden hoodies when they came out around the fall time. We shot a video in the mountains, and then I shot a photo shoot in the mountains over there when it was snowing. So like it's just different things that you can do, and then there's things out there in DC downtown that you can do as far as where the White House is and stuff like that. Yeah. And and then like out in Arkansas, they take pictures for us out there, and then downtown Dallas.
What's in Arkansas?
So Little Rock got like it has some nice scenery out there. For real? And there's like a nice body of water out there that they take a lot of pictures around. Okay. And then also in Texas, like we have down in Austin, you can go down there to the graffiti park, or you can go down there to it's like to the Capitol and stuff and take pictures there. And then downtown Dallas has Deep Ellum and it has Uptown and stuff like that.
So you get like all types of vibes. You get the mountain vibes. You get the city life. You get
you have your natural vibes. You have your natural vibes in your background. I remember big shout out to Reno. He hooked me up with some of the CSU media people that helped me shoot the video that I did up there in the mountains. And they actually did like a drone picture of the Horsetooth Reservoir. So it was like a drone video of the drone going over the middle of the reservoir. And and then they had like our logo in like the background. So that's like really cool. And just stuff like that you can't get, in the city. I said, like natural landscape is a big part of is a big part of our background and stuff like that. So I feel like that helps out, of location too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on campus here that like people don't even know they have access to, which I realized. I took a few photography and videography classes, and they have like the best of the best equipment there that like students don't even know about. Like you can rent it out for free. It's part of your student fees, but they don't tell anybody. So I'm in there like renting out the nicest cameras and nicest video. I'm telling you right now, Hawk, they have like the best equipment. Like if you get a chance, you should check it out. But like it's like a little scheme, bro. They don't tell anybody. Like if you're not in like one of those classes, then you wouldn't know. And then like once I found out they had all this equipment, like I think that last semester at college, I was renting out everything. I was doing photo shoots. I was doing like a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I mean, like you said, it's really important to utilize your resources. Yeah. And it's gonna help catapult you into like where you want to be.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, where can we find you on social media? Where can we find your music and your clothing brands?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at ahawk_14. You can find me on Twitter at onlyhawk. It's also just tagged as Ant-Man. And then Facebook, whatever it is. As far as SoundCloud, actually, big shout out to Wesley Romary, also known as Sweater God.
Young Sweater God.
He produced my song for me, and you can find that on his page. It's called I think Timeless. It's called Timeless. I'm sorry.
That track is fire.
I went for a brain fart, but it's called Timeless, and you can find that on SoundCloud. So I mean, that's where I am pretty much on there. And then as far as Snapchat and stuff, it's just Hawkins 98. So I mean, I'm out there. I'm in touch with people. And if you want to definitely get together and do a gig, if we got to mix sometime.
We're gonna connect. I got you out in LA if you need like a gig in too, and I got some more stuff I'm working on too. We're gonna talk about that later.
For sure.
The last question I have for you is.
I thought you was about to.
No. This last one is just like what can people expect from you, like music and clothing brand? Like, are you coming out with any new lines?
As far as music, I'm secretly working on something with, well, not a secret really anymore.
You telling everybody?
But I'm working on something with A-Stacks right now. We're looking to do a feature and do something on his new mixtape he's working on right now.
When can people expect that to drop?
That's probably something that'll drop during the fall. Probably like August, September time. And then after that, clothing line wise, it's just by the season, depending on the weather change. We have the hoodies right now. We recently did an experiment that Daniel Wele he hooked me up with. It was a hoodie that we did for the Ashanti concert that I performed in. It was a hoodie, but it was a cutoff hoodie. It was like orchid purple.
Was it like more of a, I don't know, like a trial type of thing?
It was just something to see if people liked it. Yeah, it's kind of like your tester. And so I was just kind of like the guinea pig for that, and like people was like, hey, like, where'd you get the cutoff hoodie? Like, I like the hoodies, but like, how'd you get the cutoff? And this is that and the other. And so we tailored that, and it's like a lot of people's asking for that now. So it's like that's kind of how we kind of do our business. It's like we'll try it out ourselves, and then it's like people ask about it, and it was like, all right, now we can make these. We can put these on a website and stuff like that.
You take the feedback from people
for sure. And
forward.
So yeah, you can find any Eden Apparel, like as far as all of our brand, all of our apparel, you can find that on Eden Apparel US. You can also find that on Instagram and Twitter at Eden Apparel US. And for sure, just tap into that. If you have any further questions, just hit me on my social media, and we definitely can help you out with that and get in touch with you. As far as any gigs being sponsored and stuff like that, we do that also. So we're just out here just to try to I guess make an impact, in whatever way we can.
Yeah.
As far as here in Colorado, wherever in DC, and also in Arkansas and Texas, that's home for us. So we definitely have to make an impact there.
Yeah.
So, expecting from me, like I said, is just trying to, make that music with A-Stacks, constantly stay involved in doing something with DJing. And then lastly, keeping the clothing line involved here in Colorado, and trying to stay in touch with Dallas. And then football, that's the biggest thing for me right now, but taking it to the next level. And hopefully, being at that combine, or making that 52-man roster, at whatever team it is.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
That's the plan.
You could also find Anthony Hawkins on the field, number 14 for Colorado State Rams. Last season of the year, he's about to go off. And yeah, man, I appreciate it.
For sure.
Best of luck moving forward. We're going to be in touch for sure.
No problem.
And that's it.